Every Belgian Malinois owner remembers the moment they realized this breed wasn't simply another intelligent dog. It usually happens during an ordinary day when the dog responds to something long before the people around it even notice. At first, many owners assume they're imagining things because the behavior seems almost too consistent to be coincidence. Over time, they discover that countless other Belgian Malinois owners have experienced exactly the same realization. The Belgian Malinois has earned a worldwide reputation for military service, police work, and elite protection work. Yet the qualities owners remember most often appear during the quiet moments at home, rather than during dramatic displays of ability. Living with a Belgian Malinois means becoming accustomed to being observed almost constantly. Owners soon notice that wherever they go, a calm, watchful pair of eyes rarely seems very far away. Unlike many breeds that relax completely when nothing appears to be happening, Belgian Malinois often remain quietly engaged with their surroundings. Their awareness becomes part of the atmosphere inside the home without demanding attention. New owners frequently expect endless energy to be the breed's defining characteristic. Experienced owners often say that awareness rather than energy alone is what truly separates the Belgian Malinois from most other dogs. One of the earliest surprises comes when owners realize how quickly routines become familiar to their dog. Small daily habits seem to be noticed and remembered long before anyone intentionally teaches them. A Belgian Malinois often begins anticipating ordinary events with remarkable accuracy. Owners eventually stop wondering how the dog always seems to know what happens next, because it becomes part of everyday life. Visitors are sometimes surprised by how calmly a Belgian Malinois studies unfamiliar situations before reacting. Rather than rushing into every new experience, many carefully observe first and respond only after gathering information. This thoughtful approach often changes the way owners see the breed. Instead of viewing their dog as simply energetic, they begin recognizing a level of quiet decision-making that becomes increasingly obvious over time. Owners also notice how naturally their Belgian Malinois pays attention to people rather than simply places. Family members become the center of the dog's attention, with movements and routines quietly monitored throughout the day. This constant awareness rarely feels intrusive to experienced owners. Instead, it often creates the reassuring feeling that someone dependable is always paying attention, even during the most ordinary moments. Many owners describe reaching a point where they stop trying to predict what their Belgian Malinois will notice next. Time after time, the dog seems to detect small changes in the environment that everyone else completely overlooks. The breed's remarkable focus also changes the way owners communicate. Subtle gestures, familiar routines, and consistent behavior often become more important than constantly repeating verbal commands. Another realization comes when owners notice how quickly trust begins shaping every interaction. A Belgian Malinois often seems most comfortable when it understands exactly what is expected and who it is working alongside. This dependable consistency is one reason experienced owners often become deeply attached to the breed. Living with a Belgian Malinois starts feeling less like managing a pet and more like sharing life with a reliable partner. Owners are frequently surprised by how naturally the breed adjusts its behavior to different situations. The same dog that appears intensely focused outdoors may become remarkably calm and composed while relaxing with the family. That balance between intensity and self-control is something many people never fully appreciate until they experience it themselves. It quietly challenges many of the assumptions people form simply by watching Belgian Malinois from a distance. Perhaps the biggest surprise is that these moments rarely happen all at once. They accumulate gradually until owners suddenly realize they no longer see their Belgian Malinois as just another dog, but as a companion whose unique way of observing and understanding the world has quietly changed the way they think about dogs altogether. One experience nearly every Belgian Malinois owner shares is discovering that the breed seems to notice emotional changes without needing obvious signals. Whether someone is excited, worried, frustrated, or unusually quiet, many owners feel their dog adjusts its attention long before anyone mentions a word. That sensitivity often creates a relationship that feels remarkably connected. Owners begin recognizing that their Belgian Malinois is constantly observing not just the environment, but also the people they care about most. Another lesson owners eventually learn is that this breed thrives on purpose rather than constant excitement. Even simple daily activities become meaningful when the dog feels involved alongside its family. This helps explain why Belgian Malinois often appear happiest when they have a role to play. That role doesn't always need to involve demanding work, but it usually involves feeling included in whatever the family is doing. Owners also notice that their Belgian Malinois rarely loses interest in learning. Familiar routines may become second nature, yet the breed often approaches each new experience with the same curiosity and attention that first impressed its owner. That eagerness to engage becomes one of the most rewarding parts of living with the breed. Everyday life rarely feels repetitive because the dog approaches ordinary moments with remarkable enthusiasm. Many experienced owners eventually realize that trust is earned every single day rather than established once and forgotten. Consistency, fairness, and clear communication gradually become the foundation of an exceptionally strong partnership. As that partnership grows, many owners find themselves communicating with surprisingly little effort. A glance, a familiar routine, or a simple change in direction often seems enough for the Belgian Malinois to understand what comes next. One quality that leaves a lasting impression is the breed's remarkable reliability. Owners frequently describe their Belgian Malinois as a dog that approaches familiar responsibilities with confidence instead of hesitation. That dependable nature becomes especially noticeable over the years. The dog develops into a steady presence that quietly supports everyday life without constantly demanding recognition for what it is doing. Another realization comes when owners begin comparing their experiences with those of friends who own different breeds. They often discover that many of the small behaviors they have come to consider normal are actually quite unusual. Simple habits like quietly observing every family member, remaining aware of changing routines, or naturally staying involved in daily activities become defining parts of Belgian Malinois ownership. These behaviors slowly reshape expectations of what living with a dog can feel like. Perhaps this explains why so many Belgian Malinois owners remain devoted to the breed for years. Once they experience that unique combination of intelligence, awareness, loyalty, and partnership, it becomes difficult to imagine life without it. Of course, experienced owners are usually the first to acknowledge that the Belgian Malinois is not the right breed for everyone. Their remarkable abilities also bring responsibilities that require commitment, patience, and a genuine willingness to understand the breed. Yet those who embrace that responsibility often discover something they never expected. The challenges become part of the reason the relationship feels so rewarding in the first place. Over time, the excitement of owning an extraordinary working dog gradually gives way to something much deeper. Owners begin appreciating not only what their Belgian Malinois can do, but also the quiet confidence, steady companionship, and unwavering reliability they bring into everyday life. Eventually, almost every Belgian Malinois owner reaches the same conclusion. The breed's greatest quality isn't its speed, athleticism, or reputation. It is the unique partnership that quietly develops over countless ordinary days until one day you realize you wouldn't want life any other ways.